Now, Queensland's opposition has accused the government of a cover-up over its handling of the Fraser Island bushfires. Meanwhile, Queensland Federal MP Andrew Laming is calling for an investigation after the bushland was suddenly cleared on North Stradbroke Island. He joins me now. Andrew, let's talk about fires first. Where the bloody hell was that big plane that was supposed to be dropping water that was sitting up there at Bundaberg, 90 k's away, and they never, ever let it near Fraser Island? What? I know there's an inquiry going on, but it's crazy.
Can seem like a simple solution when proposed, Gleeso, but you've got Queensland National Parks on one side, you've got fire and emergency on the other, and National Parks just sat on this fire for about 6 weeks. They were confident that a low-intensity burn on Fraser was what we needed to reduce the biomass on the island, and they just couldn't tell when it suddenly became high intensity. We had a couple of storms come through. Fire and emergency would have been pretty nervous just watching on. But this really does show there's many parties on these great sand islands. You've got different departments, brand new ministers in Megan Scanlon and Craig Crawford, who really need to get out on site and understand what's happening on these islands. Then lastly, you've got the local residents who are just appalled that there's no effort to stop these high intensity fires until it's too late and incredibly expensive. I guess the election submerged this debate and discussion for a long time. But the lesson here is, like we all know, you've got to pre-prepare. You've got to have your communication channels with Indigenous native title owners, and you've got to be talking to them about what you can do and what you can't with a low and a high intensity burn, instead of having conversations on the day that you want to bomb a fire.
Andrew, what's happening with this Stradbroke Island land vegetation clearing? Controversial clearing.
Look, a big shock. Residents woke up to see this patch of land cleared, and it is what's called non-exclusive native title land. There's, legion that it was done by someone attached to publicly funded rangers who just did a cashy with a local bobcat operator and got him to level the site. People are appalled. It's owned by SEQ Water. They've confirmed there was a breach. We're now told by the local kayak group that there was no breach, so I'm open to learning from both sides. Again, state ministers, get over there, sort it out. You can't turn this beautiful island into a land grab to grab your slice of paradise and clear it for a home, which is what it certainly looks like. It's deeply concerning that a ranger on a public salary does that. Handing a cashy job to someone who happens to be on the island, it's very, very messy. So we're just asking, no more raisins in a bun. Let's get these departments together, plan the future of Stratty. Indigenous land tenure, super important. We're all behind it. And that is the ultimate goal. But it can't be done at the expense of virgin forest, local residents, or the tourism industry. We need to make sure we're all working to the same goal here. But at the moment, it's all top secret and ministers refusing to answer questions. Pretty disappointing.
Andrew, tweet of the week, Cameron Dick, Queensland Treasurer, saying that the Queensland economy was now better than New South Wales and Victoria because they've had their credit rating downgraded. He forgot to tell people in the tweet that they'd put on 35,000 extra public servants since 2015, had a debt of 130 billion and had basically buggered the economy. He today came out and said they were going to save $398 million on cutting public servants. He's borrowed, I think it's about 18 billion to increase the salaries of public servants over the next 4 years. Seems like a drop in the ocean to me.
Well, of course, it's driven by their obligations to the unions. We want to see a healthy public service, but Queensland has always been on the bloated side. Even the now notorious Campbell-Newman era really only took off a couple of years of growth off the Queensland public service. But right now, this is the government we're going to have to live with. We're hoping that they know better than the previous administration. We're trying to fix problems. COVID has delivered every administration challenges, so everyone's gone into more debt. You need a clear pathway out, and that means getting people back into work, and they have to be a pro-jobs government that's creating opportunities, not just a pro-public service government, which is where Queensland Labor's always tended to go.
How do you reckon Christopher Foley's going? He seems to have hit the ground running.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Queenslanders were hungry for that kind of, firm, combative, holding a government to account. It's good old-fashioned opposition leadership, and we're going to see years more of it. Obviously, this is now 4 years of watching this painful Labor government lurch through what I think will be its final term. So we just obviously want to work with these ministers where we can. There's no time for constant oppositionism, and David Christopher has recognised that. And Queenslanders, like the rest of Australia, they don't want to see these ridiculous party politics. There's COVID at the moment. They want to see this year off. They do want to know we're back to business, back to work, back on the tools early next year. And that's a real priority for the federal government as well.
Andrew Laming, great to see you tonight.
As always, great to see you, Gleeso. Thank you.